No one in the village could explain when the door first appeared. One winter night, under a pale and silent moon, a tall wooden door was suddenly standing in the middle of an empty field behind the old houses. There were no walls, no building, nothing around it. Just a door, alone in the fog. At first, people laughed, thinking someone was playing a prank. But the next morning, the door was gone. The field was empty again, as if it had never existed. 3 nights later, it appeared again. This time, a young man named Armand noticed it while walking home late. The wind was cold and the village lights were far behind him. In the middle of the field stood the same door. Dark wood. Old handle. Slightly open. Armand felt something strange in his chest, like the door was quietly inviting him closer. Every instinct told him to leave, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. Step by step, he walked toward it. The air became colder. The sounds of insects disappeared. When he reached the door, he noticed scratches on the wood, as if something from the inside had tried to get out. Armand slowly pushed it open. Behind the door was not another field. It was a hallway. A long, dim corridor stretched into darkness, lit by weak yellow lights that flickered like dying candles. The walls were old and stained. The smell of dust and something rotten filled the air. Armand turned around quickly, but the village behind him was gone. The door had disappeared. Only the hallway remained. His heartbeat became loud in his ears. Somewhere far away, something moved. At first, it sounded like slow footsteps. Then dragging, then whispering. Armand started walking, hoping to find another exit. The corridor seemed endless. Every few seconds, the lights flickered, and every time they did, the hallway looked slightly different. Doors appeared on the sides, then disappeared again. Pictures hung on the walls showing places he had never seen, and some he recognized from his own life. Then he saw something that made his blood freeze. One picture showed him, standing in that same hallway, looking terrified. Armand stepped back, breathing heavily. That picture had not been there before. The air suddenly felt heavier. Behind him, somewhere in the darkness, something slowly exhaled. He was not alone. The lights flickered again. For a split second, a tall shadow stood at the end of the corridor. When the lights stabilized, it was gone. Armand began walking faster. The whispers around him were becoming clearer now. They sounded like many voices speaking at the same time, but too quietly to understand. The walls felt closer, the hallway narrower, and then he heard it again. Footsteps. Much closer this time. He turned around quickly. Nothing. But the feeling of being watched had grown unbearable. Suddenly one of the doors beside him creaked open by itself. Inside was a small room with a single chair in the middle and a mirror on the wall. Armand hesitated, but something inside him forced him to look. Slowly, he stepped inside and faced the mirror. At first, he saw only himself. Then, the reflection blinked, but Armand had not blinked. His stomach dropped. The reflection slowly smiled. Wider than a normal smile should be. Armand stumbled backward in horror. The lights exploded in darkness for a second. When they turned on again, the mirror was empty. No reflection. Only the room behind him. Then the whisper came right next to his ear. "You open the door. Armand, run." The hallway stretched longer and longer as if the place itself was alive. The lights burst one by one behind him. Something was chasing him now. Fast, heavy, crawling across the walls and ceiling with unnatural movement. He didn't dare look back. The whispers turned into laughter. Then screaming. Then silence. Finally, far ahead, he saw another door. Unlike the first one, this door was glowing faintly with pale light. Armand sprinted toward it with the last strength he had left. The thing behind him was getting closer. He could hear claws scraping the floor. He grabbed the handle and pulled the door open. Cold night air rushed into his lungs. He fell forward into the field. The door slammed shut behind him. When Armand turned around, the door was gone again. The empty field stretched quietly under the moonlight as if nothing had happened. His body trembled violently, and he ran back to the village without stopping. The next morning, he tried to tell people what he saw. Most didn't believe him. Some laughed. Others said he was dreaming, but one old man in the village did not laugh. He simply asked one question. "Did it see you?" Armand felt his heart sink. That night, he locked every door and window in his house. But around midnight, someone knocked. Slow. Heavy. From the other side of his bedroom wall came a whisper he would never forget. The door is not outside anymore. It's inside, and something began turning the handle.